So I just read the first chapter of Philosopher's Stone, and while I don't think I will be doing like a video for every chapter, I'm certainly planning on doing a video for the first chapter of every one of the novels, definitely for the last chapter as well. And I really have to do it for this one because I absolutely adore how this series begins. Simply because it doesn't directly start with the Wizarding World. It gets there pretty quick, but the first person we actually meet, well, first people, other than, of course, chapter name, is Mr. and Mrs. Dursley. And what I really adore about how this book begins is simply how Rowling presents this couple as something that we can relate to. Like, we recognize this type of couple, and we recognize the world they're living in, the 9-to-5 job, the having the kid in the house, but very quickly starts to give us hints of what we're actually interested in seeing. We're not interested in the Dursleys. They're boring. We don't want to be Dursley-ish. We want to be as un-Dursley-ish as the Potters are. But Rowling hints at that. She doesn't tell you outright that there's this other amazing world. She hints at it. There's a cat reading a map. What? Oh, it's gone. Was that something that was real? There are people dressed up in clothes. Are they collecting for something? Or is it really, again, just a new style? And for kids, you really hate hearing that. You hate hearing adults just put you down because of what you look like. So right away, your sympathies are not with the Dursleys. Your sympathies and interests are with this other world that's suddenly being presented to you, but not fully. It's a really great pull to keep reading, especially once McGonagall and Dumbledore and Hagrid show up. Because you're quite suddenly just like, what is going on? How can this old man have like a lighter thing that turns out streetlights? Who is this you-know-who they're talking about? Okay, Voldemort. Why do we call him you-know-who? Why have we been in terror for 7 years and saying you-know-who for 11? It's a fantastic way to just keep you going, simply because owls, what does that have to do with this? Shooting stars, what's going on? Like, you're really curious. And then a flying motorbike shows up with a giant on it and a kid. And you're just like, what is going on? Because you know the kid's important. He's right here. Like, you know this kid's important. But the title he's given, at the very start, the chapter name, but also right at the very end. The chapter. He couldn't have known that at this very moment, people meeting in secret all over the country were holding up their glasses and saying in hushed voices to Harry Potter, the boy who lived. From what? Like, we established that his parents are dead, which is terrible. But what did he live through? It just presents this fantastic world to you in just enough little hints that you become so curious about it. You become Harry yourself in this moment. When Harry hears about the Wizarding World, he just goes in with complete wonder and awe and curiosity, and that's you when you start this book. You don't want to be the Dursleys. You want to be Harry. And I find that fantastic. So I'm going to keep going.